Today is Saturday, August 11th, 2018. Get ready for the Emerging Sea broadcast system, the Forbidden History series, what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. Because somebody's got to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Time to call your friends. We now interrupt your normally scheduled programming to bring you this very important deprogramming program. And special thanks to YouTube.com for hosting the Forbidden History series. Please note that the following views and the opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, YouTube.com, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society, and nothing here is ever to be construed as medical, hate, nor legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on the realpublicradio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way twice a day, 7 days a week, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the realpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network. It's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here. Stand by for the broadcast. Coming to you live from Studio Z at the Lighthouse in Central Ohio, in the heart of Amish country, and Free America Radio Network, in the land of dreams, enchantments, and nightmares. It's the Forbidden History series, the great lies of history, the ABCs of light, the duality in nature, revealed in patterns, in pictures, symbolism, the piracy of words, the words that they killed us with, ladies and gentlemen. It's all right here, because we are the deprogramming program. It's what they didn't want you to know, of course, that we're going to tell you today. Somebody's got to do it, right? Well, the battle is for the mind. And the truth is pure light, while ignorance is the deepest darkness that there ever was, ladies and gentlemen. And these are the greatest antagonists, the one against the other, the pure seed of light and the corrupted seed of darkness. Which do you prefer? Of course, we already know that answer, don't we? That's why you're here. Because once we can begin to comprehend the true nature of things as they really are, then we can begin to comprehend that there's nothing really more to complain about. No complaints here. Good morning, Ninja. But if you don't know where you're going, then any road will get you there. And I think we've all been down that road, right? We know it's a dead end. Remember in the Matrix? Neo, you don't want to go down that road. Take a look. It's empty. It's an illusion. It's a vapor. Before you know it, your days are gone. And what do you have left? But rotten memories. Unless you're lucky, of course. But we know that we all have a limited time on this earth, ladies and gentlemen. And so the best way to identify the truth is to identify the great lies of history. And then we can make lemonade out of those lemons and not be fooled anymore. You know, it's easier to lie to people. And that's the great irony, than it is to convince them that they've been lied to. But you can know the truth, and the truth can set you free. And welcome to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Desert Owl. You're tuned in right here to the Forbidden History series, what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. I started doing the Forbidden History, did the Forbidden History catalog in 1997, last century. So 25, 27, 20, about 20, I don't know, losing track of time, and who's counting anyway, right? I mean, the days are ticking. I just can't get over how quick it all went, and yet we're still having to sift through this onion. And good morning, y'all. Love, good to have you. And and I love that name. So yeah, we're having to come to terms with a psychopathic world that cares not for you or I, and they were happy to lie to us. You know, as they say, to the victor of the war, the victor of the war writes to history. Well, guess what? Okay, the first, that means then at the first war, the very first one, what, you know, like maybe 8,000 years ago, or maybe even further back, whoever won that first battle then started rewriting the history, and of course that was the ancient Aryan Brahmin priesthood. And hey, good to have you, son dog. And things are picking up speed. Things are picking up speed. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure they will as it gets down. I think it's gonna, the great ball of fire is gonna hit us right between the eyes when we didn't see it coming. You know, at the last moment, boom. I mean, if you have a galactic system coming in at 1,000,000 miles an hour, eventually it comes real quick. You know, that's what I see. We'll find out, of course. But maybe you have a great life history out there. If you do, love to hear from you. Or if you know about a word that kills, we're going to do some words that kill today, and I'm going to do corporate words. I'm going to show you how corporate words are, you know, used to make a statement, but we never get the picture. So that'll be coming up. But if you do have a great live history, or you just want to say hello real quick, or have a comment or question, whatever, okay, then you can call in. You can actually do that. You can reach out and touch someone, and it will feel good. I'm telling you. It's 608-566-7295. That's 608-566-7295. And you can Skype us also at Free America Radio, all one word, Free America Radio. Says it's in Kingsland, Georgia, but we are in Ohio now. And also you can then text messages on that if you have a comment or question, the instant messenger, because sometimes the questions go by too fast. So, and then, of course, and I had a really nice phone call last night just before bed after the programming, and I got a call from Rod. Rod, how does he go by that? Rod, the I want to say famous Rod, but I know that's not it. It's well, anyway, another YouTuber here in Australia, and yeah, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Okay, but yeah, he grew up in South Central Ohio here, and saw the giant bones. He went into the museum there in Newark, in the basement, and literally saw the bones of the giants. Okay, he grew up riding his motorcycle up on top of pyramids, right, step pyramids, and so he's totally immersed in this. So we had a wonderful conversation about you know, all of these enigmas, and then I shared, you know, some things that I had learned as well, and you know, made some connections with him. So legendary, thank you so much. Everybody knows something out there. You know, that's the thing, this synergy that goes on. Thank you, Rod the legendary. Okay, yeah, and so he's a former musician as well, and so we had some things in common, and it was just really, it's really great to meet so many wonderful people. The best people on earth, I think, are attempting to, you know, do wonderful things on this YouTube. It puts new meaning on YouTube, certainly, and then we got the other group, right? You know what I'm talking about, and so we got to deal with those people too. Nonetheless, we're gonna make lemonade out of all those lemons they gave to us, and make sense out of a very difficult world. So so I'm rambling here. So where do I want to go? I guess I'll get into those corporate words before I do the words that kill. That's a pretty interesting presentation. And you know, the occult. What does occult mean? It means to hide the light. And in nature, an occult is when the moon, in its pattern of, you know, in its cycle and its circle, it periodically will move in front of a star. Okay, and as a result of that, then it's hiding the light of a star, and that's called an occult. Occult, and so that's what occult means, to hide the light. That's in nature, but then we know in spirit, religion, in the world, then the occult are hiding the truth. That's the aspect of hiding the light. And Ninja, you've got a statement here. I know I call you lots, but do want to chat. But I know I call you lots, but do you want to chat? Not what not what about yet? Not what about yet? What does that mean? Not what about yet? Is that that's that Australian again? You got to stop. You remember you're speaking a foreign language here. Not what about yet? I don't get. So it sounds like a rhyme. But anyway, if you need to call in, want to call in, you're inspired, and you have something you want to share, then certainly you're welcome to do that. Because okay, so the inspiration is on you, and I'm just rolling here. I'm all alone, nobody to talk to but myself and all of you. But I'd love to get some feedback at times. So okay, so duality in patterns and pictures. Yeah, we had a good one yesterday with the discovery of Esau being actually Aisha. Once I saw that 2 days ago, literally an entire story unfolded about how Esau represented Israel, and so what Esau did, Israel did. It was the same deal, and so all of these patterns and pictures have been destroyed, so that we don't get the picture. Okay, well, we'll kick it around and get back with me. Okay, love to have you. So yeah, I felt this was one of the greatest revelations of my life. I considered it a very that's what's called the endowment, the baruchim, the endowment and the enlightenment. It was an endowment and an enlightenment from Yahweh through our tree of knowledge, Yeshua, because we've been on a roll here, and I know he loves what we're doing by spilling the beans on all of the deceitfulness of all the falsehood of the pretenders, the giant pretenders, all those ministers kissing the Pope's ring, bowing down and kissing the Pope's ring, Papa, Papa, and they just love him. I can't get over it. It's so sickening, to think that they in other words, the funny money and a fancy car and a little prestige goes a long way, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? You'll kiss the Pope's ring for a little bit of perks and get a good vacation. I don't get it. I don't get it. I want to live forever. I I've been on the wilderness trail all my life, trying to do battle with the darkness and the insanity that they've given us, and I'm got a call. wonder who this could be. Let's see, find out here. And who might we have there?
Hello, it's Ninja Cat.
Ninja Cat, good to have you, Ninja. How you doing?
Not too bad.
Well, not too bad. I always say it's about halfway to not too good, right?
Yeah, well, I'm freezing and there's oily rain, but I'm good.
All right, well, speak up. Speak up. Wait a minute. Let me turn the volume up. I think I got it. Go ahead. Try it now.
Okay.
You're better.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're better. Go ahead. I have my volume down.
Okay, good. Yeah, I wasn't ready to talk about this last time we spoke, so I'll talk about it now. Where to start?
Right.
Yeah, I just want to make people aware of, like, we're seeing a lot of things happen very fast, but there's also other things happening very fast that we can't see. And I just wanted to make people aware of that, and hopefully some people can relate to what I'm saying and it can help. Yeah, we'll go back to the ongoing saga of my sister. You know how I told you that she'd found a way to stop my carers payment? For those who don't know the story, my sister has been looking for ways to make me obsolete and put my mum in a home. And she found a way to stop my carer's payment the other day. And at the same time, I was working really hard and finding a lot of connections in these chats, and was really starting to find the light and some peace and some I guess, happiness and confidence.
And we might add that it also comes through exact knowing and the knowledge that brings the enlightenment.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Thank you, David. Excuse me. Yeah, so I'll try not to ramble on too much.
Yeah, well, I just want to add, because you shall know the truth, and it's the truth that sets us free, right?
Yes, and that's what happened the other day. Because of all of this, what Desert just said, I managed to deal with my reaction was for the first time in my life, my reaction was the complete opposite to how I'd normally react. I wasn't fazed at all. Normally I'm extremely sensitive and take on everything. And it crushes me and clouds my head. This did not happen. And I dealt with the situation straight away, and it all went very smoothly and was fixed within a few minutes. I have since found out that my sister, to do this, my sister lied to Human Services, to the Department of Human Services. She lied and made a complaint and said that I didn't live with my mum, and that I was living at my old address. My old address no longer exists. The building has been torn down.
Right.
And she also said that Mum was living at her address in Sydney. And so I managed to prove that this wasn't true over the phone. So that's another thing that I have in my defence.
Right.
If I need it.
And remember, an affidavit of truth is the cure for any argument, because truth is sovereign, and and anyone would have to rebut an affidavit with another affidavit. So, and you put it in public record, and that establishes your truth if you need to, because that at one point, it's always important to establish your truth in public record, and therefore, just be aware of that, because it has standing in law. But without having established your truth in a public record in a form of an affidavit, then it's just just words. But that's the way you do it legally. But and I just responding because Rainbow Phoenix is saying I may ask for a recap. But we just got started this morning, Rainbow Phoenix. Okay, so we're just opening the program here and just getting rolling. So you didn't come in too late. We're good, and everything's recorded anyway, so you can play it back up just to double check. All right. So Ninja, please continue. Good to have you, Rainbow.
Okay. Quick question: Is an affidavit the same as a stat deck?
As a what?
Sorry, Aussie speak. As a statutory declaration. Is it the same thing?
A statutory declaration?
Yeah.
Well, I know the legal stuff is different, but an affidavit is universally pretty well comprehended. It may be that a statutory declaration is what they typically use within the jurisdiction down there, but it would not be superior to an affidavit. So that's something you'd have to just talk to an attorney about to know down there.
Yeah. Okay. And where was I? The other thing I found out, when she showed up on our doorstep and took Mum out for a very long time that day. Mum came home, and I asked her, what did they do? Where did they go? And my sister was still in the room. She was still there. And she couldn't look me in the eye the whole time. And she said, they just went and had some lunch and went for a walk around the shop. I said, well, you were gone for twice as long as you were supposed to be gone. And, yeah, it didn't really make sense. And then after she left, I asked Mum. And Mum said they went to the doctor. And I wasn't sure if that was correct because of Mum's memory. And they had to go and pick up some medication at the chemist. So I thought it could have just been that. So, yeah, I didn't know. Then I found out, I think, what day is it today? I found out yesterday from one of the home help workers that my sister had taken Mum to the doctor to get some paperwork. So she's sneaking around, she's lying to me, she's making complaints about me. And I just want people to know that the closer you get to the truth, the more they will try and stop you, because that's exactly what's happening with me. The timing is always spot on. So just stay strong, stay true, and you'll be able to get through it, because I feel so much stronger dealing with this now than I would have a year ago when I didn't have as much knowledge. So, yeah.
And plus, you're not on your own now. You have a support team. We're always here to pray for you, to help give you our 2 cents if we think we might know of an approach to this, as we have shared with you. I was a political activist, and therefore I did 7-day-a-week law programming, and I've heard it all, and therefore it's not hard to size up a situation. But hearing the scriptural truths that you've just been coming into in a big way now has certainly made a difference. And just like I was so honored to hear you reading the scriptures along with us when I was doing the read of something. I don't remember what I was reading now, but you said you were reading along in your King James Bible, and to me, that just shows, that shows, that just shows the your own dedication, that you're having a total conversion within your consciousness, and realizing that you're just not of the earth, but you're actually of the spirit, and that you have an eternal walk that's in front of you, and we all need to grab hold on that, because our time here is so short, and you're just doing a great job, Ninja. I'm so honored to be observing a transformation in your life. I'm still being transformed. We're all here and inspiring each other. I'm inspired, and it's bringing me to the next level. You friends are, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's that's the synergy, that's the cosmic reality, and so it's just so your sister's in darkness, you're embracing the light, and so stuff will always happen. Stuff always happens on planet Earth. That's the nature, and especially the closer you get to the truth, then the pendulum swing, of cause and effect. Therefore, you're going to be tested in profound ways before you reach the top of the mountain and fulfillment. That's the nature of reaching the spiritual Zayon. That's the nature of that. So that already. Therefore, you can have that sword in your hand. You're looking for it. You're prepared to go. You're praying. You're watching, and therefore you don't have to be taken by surprise. Every time something comes up, and because you are a spiritual creature, therefore it is a spiritual test. It's not just life, it's not life happening for an accident, but it has now purpose behind it, and you can always bring out the silver lining in the dark clouds.
Yeah, I remember you referring to her as the scapegoat in this, and yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just amazing. Like, it's amazing. I didn't know there was any more levels, but it just keeps going and it keeps getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, yeah, the last few days have just been amazing, and it's because I'm not doing this half-heartedly now. I'm not just, because I started off just listening, and that's okay to start with, but it needs to be, you need to do it properly. Like, you need to be able to see as you're speaking. You need to be able to read it as you're speaking and see it, and that's what makes it work. That's what makes it work faster. Did I explain that right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a constant waking up, and there's that old sage that once said, "Thank you, son dog." That sage said, no matter how big our horizon gets, we will always find ourselves at the beginning. You see, because the knowledge, if we compare ourselves with Yahweh, right, who made the entire universe and gave us Yeshua, his perfect seed, his only love seed, the knowledge to conceptualize how he made the universe with this great infinite knowledge of his own, this infinity, this the thing that how do we begin to explain that he never had a beginning? Yahweh never had a beginning. I mean, that's beyond our conceptualization, right? So our horizon will always be at the beginning of our journey, no matter how big a horizon gets, because it's so vast. It's like, like just look out at outer space, right? Outer space is so vast. It's telling us the infinity of the one who makes all things. It's mind blowing. And so we just bite the little pieces of reality and truth that we can absorb, and then we continue to consume on that, and then he starts to give the revelation. All of a sudden, just like when people are my age, they knew where they were when Kennedy was shot. You don't forget. I remember I was in second grade. It was 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the nun told everybody to pray, for John F. Kennedy. And so I remember that moment when I was only like 7 years old or however old I was. And so the same thing when these revelations come, because you're asking for guidance, you're asking for revelation, you're asking for a connection and a communion and a deeper relationship with the one who makes all things. Then something happens, and it's like, whoa, you had a vision, or you saw something in a way that it's been in front of you all your life, but you never saw it until that moment when the scales came off. So there's an exciting supernatural experience to be obtained here, and that's not what the dead religions are offering, because they're just offering word phrases. Jesus loves you. Yes, I know, for the Bible tells me so. Just put your money in the till and see you next week. Okay, goodbye. And there's nothing there but a type. It's a type, but it's not the real. And so it says we have to come out of Babylon and be a separate people. And it's better to be alone with the truth. I've always willing to be alone with the truth than in a sea of lies with those who are not true, because they're the people. Good sinners are better than good hypocrites, because the good hypocrite, they're more dangerous than just good sinners, because good sinners generally, are decent people, but they're just lost. But the people who put on the guise of religion, and they're flashing their hands around and doing presto magico, they're the ones really looking out for,
Yeah. I had a thought, but it's gone.
Okay.
Actually, I had quite a few thoughts, but it all just disappeared.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm following everything you say. I can relate to all of it right now.
Yeah.
It seems when you think you've got all the puzzle pieces and connected all the dots. Another, oh, I can't describe it.
Mm-hmm.
Information overload.
Yeah.
Happens, and yeah, crazy. My head wants to explode like on a daily basis at the moment.
Well, just see yourself as plowing the field, and it's a work. You know, when you plow a field, you sweat, you trip over a rock, you stub your toe, you know, it's a work, and therefore, and good morning, Barb. Good to have you. I'm outside. You're outside recording and walking, and you're listening. Okay, very good. And she's saying, great job.
Hello, Bob.
Great
Love
job.
you.
Yeah, she's saying, great job. So outstanding, Ninja. Yeah, no, I'm so honored to see, you know, to see you grabbing the plow and plowing the field. I'm inspired, and I keep you in my prayers, as I do everybody else, especially when we have friends who are struggling. So so it's bringing me to the next level. We're all going together, and it's really exciting. Thank you so much, Ninja. Anything else?
No, I think I've said my piece for tonight, Desert. Thank you.
All righty, then we're going to get on with the corporate words. I'm sorry, you were going to jump in?
Oh no, it's just a nervous little Aussie laugh there.
Yeah.
I was going to say thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, and give your mom the best from the USA Corporate Beast, okay? And let her know we'll hope to talk one day, all right?
Okay, I will.
All right, take care.
All right,
be strong.
I'll see you back in the chat.
All right, in the chat. Peace and love. Okay.
Bye.
Yeah, all right, we'll talk. Okay. Yeah, we that was Ninja Cat from Canberra down in Australia, and yeah, we do take calls over here. It's 608-566-7295 for anyone who wants to call in. I want to do this corporate thing first, though, so if we could just hold the call a little bit, because I want to. You know, everybody's waiting for this presentation, and I want to be able to get something out of substance here. And Rainbow Phoenix, you're I don't know if you've listened to us before, but it's good to have you on our program here. And Lou the Cat, hi, sorry to be late. That's okay. You know, it's all recorded, and all can only listen this morning. And good to have you. Yes, it's a tough world, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to make lemonade out of the lemons, and we can do that. Okay. So before I do the corporate words, since corporate is about commerce, I see on the same page. I'm in the Real Da Vinci Code etymological dictionary, and I'm doing a sample read periodically, because I want people to appreciate when I'm telling you need to get a copy. Then you know, there's a lot. It's an encyclopedia. It's like 3 dictionaries in one. It's a Pictionary. I've got pictures in here that also are profound. You know, pictures worth 1,000 words, of course, right? And thank you, Ninja. Okay, so yes, okay. It's 608-566-7295, Rainbow, and also our Skype, if you ever want to Skype in, is Free America Radio, all one word, Free America Radio. Okay, so I'm going to give 2 slices on commerce, and then we'll do the corporate. So today there are, as indeed there have always been, insidious and enslaving forces at work in America. Today's emerging tyranny emanates from a new king, from a non-living power center composed at its core of a monolithic corporate entity, of many monolithic corporate entities that are all encased and protected by endless layers of governmental bureaucracies. The primary strategy of the new king is to convert all rights, all of man's energy, and all of his goals, and at the last, every individual into a commodity. The new king exists solely for commerce, its lifeblood. Its green blood is the money, and its singular mission the profit and the control. The new king's means of control is the media, who then sell us the false notions of freedom, but then when we are in doubt, they reassure us that we are indeed free, as they program us and our children to accept this notion that all of man's function, all of man's desires, and only purpose, indeed, even immortality itself, can at the end be satisfied, fulfilled, and purchased somewhere at the marketplace of their very own making. And that's Jerry Spence from Freedom to Slavery, famous attorney. It's amazing. Even attorneys get it right sometime. I can't get over it. I've got a cough. I'm just going to mute out for a second. Stand by. And just want to add, you are tuned in right here to the realpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network. And glad you are all tuned in today. Want to welcome our new listeners. And you got the number right, Rainbow. Yes, you did. And so continuing on in the idea of commerce, commerce is the oldest law. In fact, commerce is where the legal is today. Okay, yeah, you're welcome. And that's where the legal is today. It's in commerce. Okay, it's not. There is no law, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there is no law. It's all a charade. They're under public policy since the bankruptcy in 1933. The United States British Corporation in a box owned by the Jesuits and the Vatican, it walked away from law, went under emergency powers and public policy. The policy meaning just keep the show going, boys. Just do the pretend deal. Let them think Washington, D.C. is legitimate, while the Federal Reserve is holder and title of all property in America, the receiver in a bankruptcy. Okay, it's the greatest show on earth, and they got you watching the boob tube every day and eating all of their false narratives. So we've got to be set free from them. Okay, they're not relevant. What's relevant is our eternal nature and the spirit of life. That's what we're going somewhere, and it's not here. It's out of here. That's where we're going, and we've got to put on the white robe and be lit on fire. Okay, so commerce, the oldest law in natural exchange between men, it must be based in truth. Next to the natural, spiritual, or organic law and pure shelter. 2, it deals directly with the equitable exchange between men, which must be based upon truth and all other fairness. 3, when perfecting documents such as notices and affidavits, affidavitize, it has been recommended that you start the document dialogue off by beginning with this affidavit or declaration is in commerce. And this establishes the true nature within the interaction of the commercial court's offices. And that full disclosure in all matters is of great and paramount import. Note, all court systems of today are all in commerce. What's the cure in the courtroom, isn't it? The money. They always want the money, honey, right? And that'll cure everything. How much money you got? That's what they want to know. And they'll take you for everything you got, and you'll go to prison anyway, slave. See affidaviti, contract, and Masonic disorder. Okay, and now we're on the corporate, which is all relevant to commerce. And let me just, I've got to cough one more time. Stand by. Got to get me some good nutritionals one of these days to strengthen my voice. Hang on. All right. And yeah, that fit right in there, didn't it, Ninja? I got you. So that's what I was thinking. So the corporate concept, but theories often determine right. And theory is not science, by the way, okay? But theories often determine right. Since I do not know where the opinion in this case will take me in the future, I prefer to reach its destination by the much purer route in recognizing that a corporation such as never transacts business and is never found anywhere, but does transact business and is found somewhere by an attribution to the corporation in what man does for it. They serve it, right? No doubt legal reasoning must be on its guard not to oversimplify. Dangers often lurk in overcomplicating things. That's Davis versus Mills, 194 U.S. 451, 457. And then we're going to get into corporate words. Excuse me. Let me take another sip of my drink. I was hoping doing these 2 a days, my throat would get a little stronger. And like I say, there's some things I need to get. I'm going to try to get a few things this week that'll help me out. Barb, oh, you're talking to Ninja. Okay. Oh, we got friends all over the world tuned in right now. It's really exciting to see how, communications has made us all so much closer in our world. It's really, we find out we're all basically the same. People everywhere are the same, and these rulers at the top want us to make enemies of each other, divide and conquer. It's just amazing. Oh, right. Okay, Barb, you're putting together another dead vegetation video. Yeah, I saw another one. Matt Rogers, I believe it was, had some interesting clips. I was hoping he would do more of that, but really profound ones from somebody, I think, in the UK. Okay, and Rainbow, you're in Indiana. Okay, very good. Not too far from me in Ohio over here. So corporate words. Corporate words. The corporate words are all expressing the original ancient thought. In other words, these are Zionist-run organizations. So they're speaking in the original thought through symbol. Okay, this is what I've been conveying all along. And when I said I got into the political activism, I was astonished to see how they're speaking with symbols, and that I was able to interpret them because I studied ancient history and symbolism, and also, of course, communication and diction, and misnomered as language. That's the language that they put in the cannon and shot at you. So see the patterns here. Okay, so Bell telephone. Bell is ball. Okay, so ring, ring, ring. Okay, ball telephone, and then you answer the phone and you say, "Hey, it's a true hell." Good morning, Trish. Good to have you on the program. So Ma Bell is Ma Ball, the mother ball, and that's Lucifer. So literally, Bell telephone is a code for Lucifer, and of course, she wants to keep us all connected. so it's true. We're using a Luciferian created system. They're the ones who gave us all these communications, right? I didn't create it. You didn't create it. And so we're riding on the back of the Luciferian system. And that gives me, reminds me of something I wanted to share, because in other words, I just conveyed that actually we're utilizing a beast system to communicate right now, right? They're as occultic gets, with the Windows 10, it's got all the back doors, and and they offer us a trade, and it turns out to be a trick, right? So I want to just convey this whole idea about the beast system, because there's a lot misconstrued about what is the mark of the beast and all this other stuff. But remember, Scripture said it's in your hand, and it's in your forehead, and then this people build upon this with other variable ideas, right? In other words, let's talk about, because it's called the mark, right? The mark of the beast. But another way of saying it would be the sign of the beast. Could be another way. But, so if we talk about money, well, in Germany, they call it, they call it the mark. And we know that money, in the USA, it's got the pyramid on the back. It's got all that occultic garbage that belongs to the Kabbalistic Jewish banking Zionist, right? That hate our guts, follow the Babylonian Talmud. So that's the mark, you see. And so what we've got to get back to brass tacks and keep it simple. And basically, the reason it said the mark is in your hand and the mark is in your head is because it has everything to do with the way you think and the way you act. That is the mark of the beast, you see. It's not, in other words, they can put the chip in your hand. You're already using the funny money. Can you get rid of it? Can you get rid of the funny money? No. You need to be, you're in the system. Okay? You're in the system, you know it. And you can't get rid of it. Try giving that money away and don't get it anymore. Okay? You know you need to engage in commerce if you want to survive. You want to be able to get food. You want to have a house to live under. You've got to engage in commerce, and you've got to have the mark of the beast, that funny money. But it doesn't mean you can't serve your Redeemer, does it? You still can. I've been using that funny money all my life, and I've been having a relationship with my Redeemer. They can put a chip in my hand, but it doesn't change the fact that I can still serve my Redeemer if they grab me or lock me down on a gurney and then inject a chip in my hand. You see, the mark of the beast is the way we think and the things we do. In other words, what do the people do? You know, the order takers, right? They got the mark of the beast because they're doing what the beast tells them to do. I don't do what the beast tells me to do. You see? So I use their stuff. Okay. I drive, you know, I could drive the automobile. I can, you know, all the you know, in the ancient time, they would look at these mechanisms and these skyscrapers as like, you know, remember when I was young, we used to watch Buck Rogers. Was it Buck Rogers? Yeah, and he used to, you know, fly through outer space and all those cities, and it looked evil, you know, and that's what it looks like today. It's all evil, right? It's all darkness. We don't need it, not to live, but we have to now because we're in the system. We're in the matrix. We are plugged in Neo, you see? But we can still honor the great Father of light by purity of heart, purity of mind. And so if we do, but the mark of the beast is that you're always going to screw up. You'll never can live up to the calling of Yeshua. And that's a lie. We can put on the white robe and be unspotted from this world because it is as the mind thinks, so it is. Okay? As a man thinks, so it is. And so it is everything to do with your thought process and your action. It's simple. That's the core. And, you know, when they tried to take me away and put me in a mental hospital for 40 days, okay, the Father was right there with me. Did I talk to those psychiatrists? No way. No way. If you talk to them, you lose. Okay? When they even had me in a boardroom once with about 10 of them around a big conference table. Well, Desert Owl, how are you doing today? Well, due to the nature of the crimes that are being committed against me, I can't say anything at this time. That was my pat statement. Due to the nature of the crimes that are being committed against me, I can't state anything at this time. Isn't it nice weather outside, Desert Owl? Well, due to the nature of the crimes that are being committed against me, I can't say anything at this time. You see? So they can't lock you in. You know, all you got to do is talk to a psychiatrist and he'll write you off. He'll write you off. Okay? He's more powerful than a prosecutor. You see? You have to know the nature of the beast system, and then Yeshua will help you go through these dark waters with all the sharks in them. You know, you can be in the ocean with sharks. You know that if you serve Yeshua, he won't let the shark eat you, right? He won't let the shark eat you. You have to see with the inner eye and get the picture, because there's a lot of false concepts out there that are not true, not correct, are incomplete, and often misleading. And so we have to keep things simple in these, trying to interpret these deep meanings, especially in Revelations. You know, everybody wants to interpret Revelations, and they can't even read the regular scriptures. I can't get over it. So Bell Telephone, Ma Bell, Dairy Queen, that's a good one. You know, and here I am losing my voice again today. I can't get over it. All right, so Dairy Queen is the all-seeing eye. All right, so you know how that Dairy Queen logo is really a funny shape. It's sort of like an oval, but it's not. Take a look at it. It's the eye. It's the all-seeing eye. And so isn't that then when you're talking about dairy, right? And then if you're talking about dairy, you're talking about cows. There's your sacred cow. And you know, in India, right, the cow is sacred. They don't kill the cows over there in India. And then, you know, they used to have vanilla and chocolate ice cream with Dairy Queen, but then they said, no, we're only going to have vanilla. And they got rid of the chocolate. I never could figure that one out why, but it has something to do with, the cow again and the dairy and the queen. Oh, well, who is the queen? If it's Dairy Queen, I guess the right question to be asked would be, well, who is the queen? Oh, you mean that lady again with the blindfold on? Lucy? Lucifer, there's your Dairy Queen, okay, with the white light of the moon shining down. That's your vanilla, okay, the vanilla wafer you get on Sunday in the Catholic Mass. Lucifer, you're speaking the Babylonian Babel. There's the mark of the beast. You know, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. These are my sins. That's the mark of the beast. You see, and because we have to be our own priest, and Yeshua is our elder brother, and he is the intermediary between us and Yahweh, and he's trying to pick us up and lift us out of this world if we only let him. Okay, so what tipped me off about the Dairy Queen logo, I was in a Dairy Queen when I was driving truck cross country, and I went in a Dairy Queen for lunch, or maybe it was just for a cone, but and I looked on the wall, and they had a clock made out of the Dairy Queen logo, and they put a circle in the middle of it like it was a pupil, and it looked just like, you know, and I saw it was the eye. There it is, the all-seeing eye right there in Dairy Queen. Okay, the sacred cow, the queen, okay? So I still eat there. Okay, I still go there. I love that vanilla cone, you know, periodically. So it's okay. They're joking, they're having a party on us, but we can still use their stuff and be unaffected by it. It's the world we're in. We're here. We got to deal with it. You got to wear their shoes. You got to put their clothing on, and it's just the way it is. So General Electric, for all generations of Elohim, higher dark tricks. Electric. So I'm defining the word here. El is for the enlightenment. Ek is also enlightenment, like eclectic. Tech is in there. So electric. So all generations of Elohim, higher dark tricks. So it's their their buzzword. See the current on the dollar postage stamp. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's the Jupiter, that picture of Jupiter where the lightning's coming down and through his beard. Then HEB Foods. HEB literally means the ebb. Okay, the ebb. If you put the royal symbol R in there, you get the word herb. But take out the R and you get ebb from herb. And so it means the ebb, which is the root word for herb and implies the ebb and the flow of nature. So what do you find in the grocery store? You find the ebb and the tide, right? The flow of nature. It's all in there. And and it's also an abbreviation for Hebrew. The ebb is the Hebrew, okay? And SO Oil Company, it literally implies, and by the way, for any of our new listeners, if you are trying to get my attention on the chat, remember to put my name in all capital letters, Desert, D-E-Z-E-R-T, and then upper lowercase with your comment or question. That way I know, you're talking to me, because I can't quite read and look at the chat at the same time. I glance up periodically to see if anybody's trying to give me a notice. So SO Oil, remember SO, for those of us who are old enough, SO, was a major oil company, and then it converted over to Exxon, right? So SO Oil Company literally implies esoteric, which implies the secret on the land of the illuminated ones, the rule in the secret. And so all of a sudden around 1970, Esso converted its corporation into Exxon with the two X's in there, right? And there's your double cross. There's your double cross right there. Excuse me. And so it went from esoteric to exoteric, you see? So it went from the secret, and now exoteric, the secret is out. We're going to start doing some real dirty business in this world, ladies and gentlemen. That's the implication, okay? They are showing us that we are in hell, and that's why we all have these signs everywhere. Signs. And yeah, absolutely. Sign is also an abbreviation of signal. So they're giving us the signal, and we don't get it. Thank you, Rainbow. Okay, so Oreo. So Exxon implies exoteric, and which implies the coming out into the open when they created the company in the late 1960s. Oreo cookies, Okay, so you got an O at the beginning and an O at the end, and the O means perfection, um, uh, uh, completion, obviously the circle and oxygen and all of that. So it's a power symbol is the O, and so you got the circle, the black circles on both sides, and the white circle in the middle. And so you've got it literally means the true ore of light, the true ore of light, the Oreo. The light is in the middle, and so the light is in the middle, and what's on both sides of the light? The darkness. So they've trapped the light. So with the Oreo cookie, they're implying by the name, because it's the name, okay? The word is speaking. And it's implying that they've captured the light on both sides. And the light is hiding in the middle of the dark Oreo cookie, the black cookies. Puts new meaning on cookies, doesn't it? So, so Ninja, you're saying, I noticed the food's running out here. It's dying. Yeah, absolutely. The fruit and vegetable sections in the shops are only half stocked. You got it. Same thing over here. Stuff, we can see the change in the store over here too, Ninja. Thank you. Continuing. Seagram 7. I like this one. You know, it's pretty boring out there on the high seas when they were, on those sailing ships and trying to conquer the world. For the next wave of the One World Order, and so they obviously they like to drink whiskey, right? And so Seagram 7 is an anagram, and when you change the word, you get the 7 grim seas, 7 grim seas. You see, so they're playing on the ancient theme of the the commercial maritime rule of our world. So 7 Crown whiskey is the 7 grim seas. Scottish tape. It's got that the kilts, the red kilts on the logo of the Scottish tape, and it's the transparent tape, and it literally refers to the Scottish Rite Freemasons, who are transparent, and they're everywhere. They're the postmaster, they're the UPS driver, they're the judge, they're the police officer. Excuse me, they're everywhere, and they're transparent because they don't tell you that they're Masons, and yet they're serving a Luciferian occult, right? And we could go into Scott Tissue, but I'll just bypass that. I think you get the picture why Scott Tissue is so tough, right? Because they're full of it, you know what I mean? And then Yale Lock Company. I'm going to cough again. Hang on. Oh, geez, what did I just do? I hit the wrong button. Nothing happened. Good. Okay, we're on Scott Tissue. Yeah. And you don't have to spell out the Forbidden History series like that with that orange rainbow. Just put desert in all capital letters. That'll be not as obtrusive. Just desert, D-E-Z-E-R-T. And I'll see it. I won't miss it. Don't worry. I'm always checking. But good to have you. And so Yale Lock Company, Yale, and so it refers to the Yale University, right? And so they make a lock company to help us get the picture. But Yale is the word Yal, okay? Where we talk about Yal when I talk about the prime root as Yal. Shua or Yal Shulamva being the correct for 10-4 rainbow. Thank you. And Yashua, we use the Ya, but it's really Yal. The 2 magic vowels, the L's that they took a vow to, symbol of the obelisk. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm having a rough day today. I'm sorry. So, you're gonna have to get an overhaul. So Yale is Yal, and it means that which goes round. Well, what goes round? Sun and moon. Sun and moon. And so there's your Yal, okay? And it's the dial. It's the dial. It's that which continues to go around, sun and moon every day, and it's how we keep time. But so then we get a university called Yale, which is Yal, but it's another play of the word. It's an abbreviated word, and they changed the vowels, right? So Yale Law Company refers to Yale University, the home. Hold on. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. Okay, hopefully that's better. It sounds like it. So, Yale University, um, and it's the home of Skull and Bones Secret Society. Their true name, of course, being the Brotherhood of Death. The Brotherhood of Death. And it's where their primary controllers of America are indoctrinated, right? They get about 11 or 13 of them every year. And so there's about 800 Skull and Boners, Brotherhood of Death, running America today in corporations. And so Yale also has a women's society called the Keepers of the Keys. And the keys, the women go take us back to India. Okay. So corporation, CSS, and the above words. Then I got here the cosmic man and woman. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I need to do a program on that one day. That'll be really cool to do with words. The cosmic man. I got to dig up those cards, and I show how all the parts of our body, are telling a story also. And Barb. Thank you, Barb. I'm going to go to a musical break now. Thank you very much. Good idea. And I will be right back. And you're right. I'm going to go get some honey, and I'll be right back. Thank you for all your thoughtful suggestions, and I'll try to jump on a little bit of that. All right. Well, you are tuned in right here to the RealPublicRadio.net, Free America Radio Network. What they didn't want you to know, but I'm happy to share with all of you. But somebody's got to do it. Okay. And do tell your friends. Let's have a revolution in thinking, and we'll never come back, ladies and gentlemen. That's the whole idea. Let's leave this world and never come back. What they didn't want you to know. Okay, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I got some really raw honey in my throat, and that may do it. I couldn't make the apple cider vinegar and lemon drink in time, but anyway, thank you for all your thoughts and concerns. All great people. So honored to be with such wonderful friends around the world, and um, and you are tuned in right here to the RealPublicRadio.net, Free America Radio Network, and I'm your host, Desert Owl, and a bird who sees in the night. And as you can tell, I'm on overload, and I have to unload because it's a heavy burden, and so I'm putting it all on you as well. Okay, and then you're just gonna have to learn how to deal with it. So, okay, Rainbow. Uh, okay, so if I can make it through the piracy of words, I may be able to get a readout of the history of the church. We'll see. I'll play it by ear here. So I love reading that history of the church. I've read it several times. You can't read enough of it. It's impossible to remember all this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. You know that. And so we have to keep reviewing, the ancient writings because they're telling us who we are, where we are, when we are, and why we are. The occultists, just want us to have a party and think life is all rosy, but it's really Rosicrucian, isn't it? Yeah, they're always playing their tricks on us, and so we've got to be set free from them. Set free from them. So, okay, so I started with law, ended with law as the last word in this presentation, and just for those who are new, I'm reviewing. I did a draft of a book called The Piracy of Words, and I'm never going to publish it, but so I'm just going to do the oral version and read it here, and that way it'll help give you. I put a little bit of sarcasm in here because after you've done this stuff for a quarter of a century, as far as studying the occult, well, I've actually done it closer to half a century. But when I got into political activism in about 1990, 1991, then it was a new ball game, and I had to learn a lot of new stuff about the current modern world, and that the modern world is just another takeoff of the ancient world. That's why you see all these powerful symbols and signs. It's an ancient cult. It's a serpent cult. It's a serpent cult. But it's the black serpent. It's not the white serpent. The serpent is not evil by itself, just like the gun is not evil by itself, or just because, like when I took on the the name the Heavenly Father gave me in the 1980s, Desert Owl. I didn't know Moloch was an owl. Okay, I didn't know that, and then I get beaten up by Christians for being an owl. Owls are not evil by themselves. Come on, they're the cute little birds that you see them on YouTube. People save these little owls, and they become the most beautiful pets you ever wanted. They don't hurt nobody. They just want to eat a mouse every now and then. But so why are owls getting a bad rap? Well, because the occult are calling themselves owls, right? And they also wear hoods too. So I guess it'd be pretty bad to wear a hood, considering the priesthoods. You know what I mean? But it's just all Lucifer's clothed with the light. So I guess the light is no good then, right? If Lucifer's clothed with the light, we better not want the light, right? No, it's just we have to put everything in proper perspective, and yeah, right. Thank you, Ninja. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you get it here, don't you? Not only do you get fully informed, but you get a little bit of entertainment from Desert Owl at the same time, right? I mean, I'm sure I see how some of you react sometime, and I'm happy to be here. Full entertainment. Like I said, we're full service here, and they're coming for me, but don't forget they're coming for you too. So we're all in on this together. And we've just got to make lemonade out of those lemons. So let's go into some words that they killed us with, shall we? Okay, so the natural pure law, the pure natural law. The truth and the pure law is said to proceed from the self, inasmuch as it bears witness and carries the imprint and records of the self-existent one, while within and transcending all other forms. See self and truth and the pure shelter. And by the way, it would also give me a break. So like Rainbow, if you wanted to call in now, this is a good time. I just wanted to get through some of that preliminary material. And so, if somebody does want to call in, it's 608-566-7295. I think I'm better now, and I thank you. But so yeah, I didn't want to prevent anyone from calling in. So certainly anyone with a comment, question, observation, complaint, or just wants to test the phone. It's okay. You can do that, right? So let me try this again. So the pure natural law is the truth, and the pure law is said to proceed from the self, or that is to say, it's inherent. Okay, inasmuch as it bears witness and carries the imprint and record of the self-existent one, while within and transcending all other forms. See, self and truth, the pure shelter. Okay. Legal complaint, a registry with the royal star eyes. See, illegal is an ill-eagle. Okay. Right. If you're an eagle, in which they like to claim, they got the double-headed eagle, so they claim to be eagles in their secret world, right? But we do have a call here, and it's actually Indiana, so it must be Rainbow. Okay. And Rainbow, is that you?
Yes, that is me.
Okay, good to have you. Is this your first time listening in today, or have you listened before?
First time.
Really? Okay, well, good to have you. And now, how are you doing today, and what's on your mind?
I'm good. I just wanted to point out a couple things that I have learned about the Bible, studying it, and the world and its deceptions and signs everywhere, the signs, I thought it'd be good medicine.
Very good. Okay, please continue.
Like from Lucifer to Christ is what I've come to the conclusion of, that the Bible means. It means that we are all born in a fallen state, and that we have the hope that we may also rise from that fallen state.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why the signs are everywhere, so that we will know that we're in hell and that it's not party time. It's time to, I'm going to just say it, this is who I am, get that head out of that butt, and so we can evolve. Everybody's going around thinking it's party time, like you were saying earlier. And it's so not party time in hell, where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth,
Yeah.
And it's basically, it's just that simple. I mean, that's what I have so far. Like I said, I wish I had caught you at the beginning. I'm going to scroll back up.
No. Well, it wasn't, we were just getting started. I usually, do a song and a dance at the beginning to allow for people to come on and do my opener and monologue. So it's recorded. But I highly recommend you go back and look at the premiere edition on June 21st. This year, just, about a month and a half ago, or give or take. And those first 2 weeks, I really unloaded a lot of what we talk about within the original thought, where I reveal the Indo-Germanic Aramaic mother tongue, which nobody's talking about. And you see, because the priesthood that's running our world cleverly got us caught up in the Hebrew and in the Greek, which is controlled by the priesthood, and therefore it's the diversion. Yes, there's truth in studying those, that diction, but the real truth is getting back to the core, to the original, because that which is first is superior. That which is first is original, and therefore they have broken the original forms of everything. And so this has been a major part of my life study, is the diction and the symbol, because letters are symbols. And so then we get the real picture and the full story that unfolds, because they had to work overtime to deny us the aspects of our traditional culture, the true forms, and therefore it's a shell game, and they're controlling the ball. But so Yeshua then, he brings the light. I'm not smart enough to figure this stuff out. It's the revelation of Yeshua that unfolds. And so so in those first 2 weeks, I tried to convey in those presentations all of the stuff that nobody else is talking about, the true nature of the flood, off the top of my head, but so much more, and especially in the diction, but also in translations. I talk about the problem with translations and all that, and then also the
Aramaic is key. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the best translations that were given to us, Farrar Fenton on 1905. He read nothing but Hebrew and Greek for 40 years before he gave us his translation. He said, "I don't want to read the English and read all the corruptions and the mistakes and the dogma and the propaganda and the political. I want to go back to the most ancient documents I can find, and then I will do my translation after 40 years of study of the original, most ancient text, not the originals. There are no originals." So Fenton has done a historic work. I'm so astounded that it's like, how come I didn't, hear anybody tell me to get Farrar Fenton? I just stumbled on it one day, and I compare it with George Lamsa, who came out of the Aramaic, 1933. He came out of Kurdistan. He was one of the remnant Kurds who were still speaking the original tongue of Yeshua, Jesus, and and it hasn't changed in 2,000 years. And with the Kurds, so you see, the proof is with the Kurds that the diction, the tongue that we speak is not supposed to change. But in the occult world, they continually change the meaning of words so that we can never follow the trail back home. Just like in English, if I 300, 400 years ago told you, rainbow, you're very nice, right? I would have just insulted you. I would have just said something like, you're a very bad person. I don't remember the exact definition of nice, but I know it wasn't a good word originally. And so they got us to use bad words for, alternative means. Now, just like when you go to your computer, what do they get us doing? They get us cursing, right? You got to use your cursor if you want to use the computer, right?
Yep. I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been.
It's a game. They're occultic. They love putting the spell on us, and we're stuck. That's the mark of the beast right there, right? But but we know that we're really not cursing. We know it's true, and that's okay. We can use the cursor.
It's really words.
Yeah.
You write them with your hand, and
Yeah.
you think them in your head.
Yeah, they're just having a party on us, And good morning, Jenny. Good to have you on the program today. So anything else, Rainbow? I really appreciate you calling in today.
I just wanted to, just let everybody know that it's not as bad as it seems, that, we all have the hope of going from Lucifer to Christ, because that's how I read the Bible, what I got from it. And we can only hope that someday they will stop being out of their mind. And, stop doing that. But I think they're doing it to let us know where we are. They have to, they have to tell us what they're doing and where we are, in order that they can get away with their word spells. But
Absolutely.
at the same time, once we wake up to that, then we're as free as we can be in hell until, we ascend out of here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they do it outside the Vatican at a place called the College of Abbreviators, and I talk about that as well. So good to have you, and I just encourage you to go back to the beginning, because then it will help you to know, when I'm using certain terminology now, because many of our friends listening in today have been following me from the beginning, and therefore I'm not backing up. Periodically, I'll say something again, or I'll do some presentations in the future to do it again, because I know new people will be coming in and we're going to keep growing. But so much foundational stuff is there, and especially with the words. So Rainbow, thank you so much, and wish you well.
Yeah.
We're here to serve if we can ever help you. If you're ever trying to figure something out or struggling, you let us know, right? And in the chat, we can pray for you as well, okay?
Yes, all righty. Thank you so much.
Hey, you be well. Peace and love.
You too. Peace and love.
Hey, one question. You still there? You still there?
Yep.
Because I've not been to your channel, so are you also a sky watcher, like many of our friends here?
Yeah, I watch the sky. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and today Dane Wigington will be on at. He usually posts his YouTube around 2 or 3 o'clock at the latest, sometimes at 1. But have you watched Dane Wigington?
I have no idea. I may not have. Can you put his link in the chat?
Well, yeah, his YouTube channel will be Dane Wigington, and I'll type it right now. Okay, and because he's on the tip of the needle. I've been following Dane for about a decade, He's been doing it about 15 years, but he's absolutely, a genius when it comes to expressing the entire problem we have with geoengineering. Okay, so I'll put that in the chat, and then we'll talk again soon. All right, come on back.
All righty. Thank
Peace,
you.
peace and love, Rainbow. Bye. Okay, I'm going to type that in. And there we go. Okay, that's YouTube. That's YouTube. Okay, youtube.com. Dan Wigington, he's on today, every Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you to Rainbow for being so brave and calling in. If only my other friends would be so brave and call in. Here she is, a new listener today. And where were we? Okay, we're on legal complaint and a registry with the Royal Stars Eye. The Royal Stars Eye, okay? And see, illegal is an illegal. Okay, I was on the eagle. So, so in the occult, they all think of themselves as eagles, because they fly higher than everybody else, those Freemasons. And therefore they can see farther than everybody else. They got the eagle eye, right? And so if you're in bad standing, then you become an ill eagle. You're an ill eagle, you see? And that's where what the implication of illegal is, the ill eagle, the sick bird, in other words, And legal determination. Okay, so whenever the de facto court or corporate office asks you a question, they are asking you to make a legal determination, right? And yet you're in an occultic arena. You're in a racket and a shell game and a fraud, and then they're asking you questions. And the bottom line is you should be asking them questions, and not giving answers, because as soon as you give answers, guess what? You give them jurisdiction, and that's the last thing you want to give to an occultic brotherhood that wants to eat you for lunch and put you on Wall Street and in prison, So, okay, Rainbow, thank you. So, and so this is, let me back up again. So when they ask you questions, they're asking you to make a legal determination, and this is not possible when dealing with a dishonest, slave-running criminal enterprise, private C, Babylonian beast system. Get the picture, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, and know what I mean? So Lexi is Greek, and it's a cessation of word and speech. Really? Man, I forgot this one. Lexi, L-E-X-I, is a cessation of word and speech. Therefore, it's a cyber code. I got to research this one again. I did this 6 years ago when I lost my apartment. I was stuck without my computer for a year and just reading books. And so C, lex, Latin for law, lexicon, the law of the con. And so I have another note here on Lexi, Greek, a cessation of word and speech. Whoa, a cyber code. See, okay. So in other words, I've got a Hebrew lexicon here, right? And I've been saying for a couple decades now, I saw the code that lex is Latin, not lexi, which is the Greek, but lex is Latin, so lexicon. What part of a con don't you get? Lexicon literally means lex is law of the con. Lexicon is the law of the con. So when we got the Hebrew lexicon called Jusinius's Hebrew lexicon, it's the law of the con, meaning that, like I've been saying, the Hebrew, they're using the Yiddish Hebrew, to put the con on us. You see, controlled by the priesthood. Remember that the followers of Yeshua didn't speak Hebrew. They spoke Aramaic. And in fact, only the wealthy and the priesthood spoke the code of Hebrew, and it was called Sefer. Their book is called the Sefer, and that means cipher, code. Okay? And so now I'm absolutely astounded, because lexi in Greek is a cessation of word and speech. It means to stop. And there's another example of the code in the Hebrew and the Greek. I just now have my two witnesses of what I just was saying earlier today about the game, and I've said in the past as well. This is major, because in the Greek, I saw that, and I defined Bible as the bib, the covering, the bib El, the covering of the Illuminati, the covering of the illuminated, but they're not so illuminated. They're just phony illuminated, And so Bible, then in the Greek is ta biblos. And when I saw the AT, which is the symbol of creation and the alphabet, AT, so when they reverse it and make it the TA, it means reverse, right? And so ta biblos literally means reverse book. And so they're telling us in the Greek definition, ta biblos, that it's reverse book, but nobody gets the picture. They can't read. You see? And so I'm absolutely astounded. I'm going to have to write this down on a 3x5 card and keep it handy and do some more research now because I can't get it. So in other words, so lexi, as in lexicon, literally means a cessation or in other words, like saying the buck stops here, okay? The buck stops here. They're not going to get it because we're controlling the ball. We're controlling the words and let them eat cake, okay? Bottom line. So, yeah. And apparently the Queen never said that, actually. They said she never really said that, but the people passed it around as the rumor. Yeah, she said, let us eat cake. Okay, let's cut her head off. Who was that? Mary Antoinette, I think it was, right? Maria Antoinette. Anyway. So, yeah, are we having fun yet, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, and then we get to liability. So what is liability? Well, actually, liability is the ability to lie, is it not? Yeah, it's the ability to lie, of course. They want you to be liable for everything, of course, right? But of course, when you're a Freemason, you got the ability to lie. Just give them the grand hailing sign, and you got the liability taken care of. The ability to lie. You think we're having? You think this is true, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, and it's interesting because liberty actually is an anagram of liability. Just missing one letter. That's the royal vowel, secret vowel R. Okay, and now we're into lib. Oh, okay, yes, okay. The women want to be liberated, right? And so the word lib, get this, how do the women want to be liberated? Well, lib, L-I-B, means to castrate. So I guess for the women to be liberated, they want to castrate all the men. What do you think? I know not you ladies want to do that, but you know what I'm saying? Those the what do they call them? What do they call those women who want to be liberated? I was going to say fascist Nazis, but I know that's not the word. What do they call what do they call that? Come on, y'all, I know all of you know this one. Liberation. What do they call that movement? The women's movement. Where it started when they, back in the 1920s probably, but it came full blossom with in our modern time. Anyway, okay, story for another day. Liberation. So the power, and so by the way, okay, so not only does it mean to castrate, but lib also, is like how when they want to kill a tree, they cut the bark off the tree like a girdle size. They cut off like about a foot of the bark all around the tree, and then the tree dies, and so that's also the term for lib. And so then then they talk about, don't you want liberty? No, you don't want liberty. Of course not. You don't want to be castrated, nor do you want your bark cut off and your tree to die. And so, oh, thank you. Yeah, there she is again. Women's libbers. Thank you so much. Yeah, the women's libbers. They got the knife in their hand, ready to cut. Oh boy, and it's amazing, amazing world. I think they started with burning the bras or something. Isn't that how it started? Something like that. And so, so libation. Did I finish where I was on it? Anyway, we'll go into libation. Oh, okay, no. So I was talking about liberty. So, so you don't want liberty, ladies and gentlemen. Give me liberty. Take liberty. I don't want it. You can have it. Okay. I want freedom. Freedom, because freedom means free judgment. 2 words. Freedom. Freedom. Free judgment. Okay. And that's right. So then to have lived on this planet is an evil experience. Evil experience. We felt it all of our lives. Like he was talking to Neo, something was wrong, but you didn't know what the answer was. Well, now I am Neo, I am Morpheus, and I am in your dream, and I will give you the red pill, and you will wake up. But when you wake up, you will vomit. You will be so sick, you will have to vomit in order to be set free. Get ready. Here it comes. And now we've got liberation. Liberation, 1, to pour out liquid during an occult ritual. Oh, that's libation. It could be their liberation, but we know it's their death now, right? Libation is to pour out a liquid during an occult ritual. And 2, libat is Latin libat. So there's the bat that lies. That'd be the Batman. Then that'd be the police officer then, right? Because they're the Batman. C, baton, and C, liberty. Libel. The stripping away of bark from a tree. Oh, there's the term. Okay, the libel is the stripping away of bark from a tree, and it also means to destroy. So if you're liable, okay, if you're liable, then you know you're in trouble. You know that. See libation, and then Liber Code. Okay, the Liber Code is the 100 articles of war produced for the North during the uncivil war, the war of Northern Aggression. The last article was the kicker, as I remember, these it is claimed, and this it is claimed to have never been rescinded. Thus, oh, that's thus. I spelled it wrong. Thus, it is claimed to never have been rescinded. And I don't remember what the Article 100 of the Liber Code was. It was written by a guy named Liber, you know, but it's just a code. Just like, you know, they had to get a guy named Campbell Black to give us Black's Law Legal Dictionary, you know, so they always use their code words. And they find a guy who's even willing to change his name. Or maybe the guy didn't even exist, just like Francis Bacon was, you know, took the pen name William Shakespeare. It's their racket. There's nothing new under the sun. The game keeps going. And it's been my contention all along that George Washington was none other than King George III, who they said was blind and deaf, and therefore they put him away in an asylum. You know, yeah, they put him in an asylum, all right. They brought him over to America, and he was the first official president, after the other 6 were forgotten about, of the United States British Corporation in a box run by the Jesuits. You know, and so the Liber Code, see Vatican and Hindu wars. And so the Liber Code put us under a military occupation, okay? So we've officially been under military occupation since the Civil War. Since the Civil War. And then liberty, I'll do the lib stuff because we got to get through these libs. We want to be liberated, right? No, we don't. Okay. So, library, library sounds like library. Okay, but it's L-I-B-E-R-I, but it sounds like library, right? It does. And so if it sounds like it is, let me write this down here, L-I-B-A-R-Y. And what does library mean? It's a child. It's a child. So I guess when we go to the library, they only put books there for children who will never wake up. They will never know the truth because the lie is buried there in the library, and they'll never get it, right? Of course, not unless you listen to the Forbidden History. See, killed, chilled, chip, and buried. So how about liberty? Do we want liberty? Of course not. We already said that. 1, something that somebody gives, like, you know, we're on shore leave, right? So they give us liberty. We're in the Navy, and they're giving liberty, meaning they're just giving us a little bit of rope, but they can still reel us back in as soon as they need us, right? Something that somebody gives or does to you. 2, to castrate the earth of its natural connections, or to cut off natural connections with true life. Well, I guess that is the liberty that they gave us then, isn't it? And then 3, the clearing of trees, liberty. You know, no different than the word forest. You know, like we think of a forest as, you know, a bunch of trees, but a forest is not a bunch of trees. Sorry, wrong answer. A forest is like a park. And there are some trees there, but there's also a lake, and there's a bench you can sit on, and you can let your dogs run, and it's for rest. You see, the word forest is 2 words. That's your original thought. It is for rest. You're going there for some relaxation. You're not going to go out in the wilderness. Now, the wilderness is a bunch of trees. You see how they disassociated us with real meaning of words, ladies and gentlemen? I'm telling you, they messed us up, haven't they? Come on. Am I crazy or are they crazy? What do you think? Liberty, give me liberty or give me death. I think that guy had a problem, right? So where are we at here? What planet are we on? Okay, see capital, chattel, lib, castrate, and libel. There's that libel again. I think you're libel. Okay, if you haven't figured this out, you're still libel. You're libel until you be set free. Okay, we're just gonna have to learn how to deal with it, ladies and gentlemen. Statue of Liberty. No, there's a good one. There's Lucy again, right there. Good old Lucy. What would we do without Lucy Ball, huh? I couldn't stand to watch that program. I'm telling you, I don't know. It was in me. You know, I didn't know she represented Lucifer, and the ball in the background was, a symbol of the moon. For some reason in my gut, I just couldn't deal with Lucy, and all that joking, that sarcastic joking, huh? And then that red hair, the red hair of the Canaanites, red hair of the Canaanite on top of that. Amazing. Absolutely. And correct phonetics, rainbow, desert with a Z. We have to use correct phonetics, desert. See, they corrupted it, and it's a Z because why? The lightning, the power of the fire. Because when you go out into the desert, there's no fresh water out there, and you're burning up, right? So desert with the Z's, correct phonetics. They corrupted the word. I didn't do that. I put the Z back in, okay? Thank you very much. All right, and good to have you. And she screamed too much. Okay. You even had it down there, huh, Ninja? Okay. So Statue of Liberty, the Statute of Indrani, Lucifer, Columbia, the Hidden Woman, the Blind Goddess, Isis, etc., etc. 2. The Statue of Slavery. C. Blinded by the lies. Make mine a supersize. With fries, please. And then we got librarian. Well, then I jumped down here to libo. Libo, okay, L-I-B-O is tears. It's tears from the Greek. Well, see there, if you got that lib, you're crying all the time because you don't know what's going on. You don't know that you were all screwed up in the head by occultic, Luciferian secret societies. You didn't know. You knew you didn't feel right all your life because something was wrong. Just like Neo, he's sleeping by the computer. He knows that something's going on here. He can't figure it out. Then finally, he's told to go have a meeting. Get on the channel. The Forbidden History. And next thing you know, it's all making sense now. Okay, tears from the Greek. I can't get over it. C, liberation, the great cause of communism. Yeah. And then librarian. And here's a librarian. Oh, and the word Aryan is right in there, right? Librarian. There's Aryan. Yes. They're the ones running the show, right? They've enslaved everybody else. The librarian. One. How did I forget all this stuff? I'm glad I saved this. One, lib-Aryan. So it's L-I-B-A-R-Y-A-N. Lib-Aryan. And what do we say lib meant? Castrate. Okay, the Aryan that castrates is the librarian. Okay. So a liberal, and it's also a liberal Aryan, a cyber code for one who will take liberties and do what she is told for the greater good. Oh, you mean like order takers. Okay. 2, one who will remove all of the important truth from the shelves and destroy it. Of course. 3, the agent and agent bureaucrat. And then you need to look up the word bureaucrat. Okay. It's one who can be taught certain functionality but is basically incompetent. C, library, bureaucrat, Aryan, lib, cybercode. This is what has been going on all along. C, bra, in the middle as in Brahm, priesthood for support. Okay? Of course, we all need support, don't we? Library, the lie is buried. C, libo, lib, lab, lobe, and lie. And then we're almost at the end here. We'll cap it off on the one that's the lie. And then I got one more here. Libri, L-I-B-R-I, which is Latin for book. Libre. Okay, maybe pronounced libre. At least when you remove the I and put the A-Y in there, it'd be libre. And it means book. The inner bark. Okay, it's the inner bark. After they did the lib, they took the outer bark out. And And so see, dogs of the priesthoods, Freemasons, lies, library, bra, the truth is stranger than fiction. We're not and never were in Kansas. We never were in Kansas. Okay, I can accept that. So where have we been? That's what I want to know. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're just, and where's the last one? Lie, okay? Root is L-I. But they're telling, oh, this is beautiful. Oh, I'm having a revelation right now. Right now, because you see, if you've been listening to my program, you know that I've been saying all along that they supplemented the I and the E. They supplemented the A and the O with the I and the E, right? The I and the E are the corruptions, and they removed the O and the A, which are the primary. Letter A is first letter of the alphabet, symbol of the sun, symbol of light, and so L-I-E. They're telling us right there in the vowels, the I and the E are the lie. Woo! Am I excited? Are you excited? Man, when I have these revelations, it's a revelation all the way. Lie, L-I-E. Gosh, I've been saying it. You know that. You know I've been saying it. And it's true. They're telling you that the I and the E are the lie. And there's the illumination symbol, the L, for the light, and also the phallus for creation. And so they're controlling the lie. Wow. And so Rainbow, you're saying I understand why people stop talking altogether. if we don't speak, we cannot curse ourselves. Of course, that's the secret. Just they want everybody to shut up and get in line. Stand over there. Don't talk. Okay, we'll get with you. We'll get with you. And Yah saw the lie all the time. Very good, very good. And so, boy, I've got some words I got to work on now. I've got to get some 3x5 cards out. I got some work to do. So let me put that on the side. And I think I'm up to a little history of the church. Can we still do this? What time we got? 1:42. Yeah, I can knock it out. We'll cap it off at 2 hours, all right? And so we'll do the history of the church. So you just got I guess what we could call the piracy of words extended, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you that I forgot half the stuff I've learned, and I've got to remember it when I'm reviewing it here. So okay, now we're on the martyrdom of James, the Lord our brother, and we are in the history of the church by Eusebius. I'm pretty certain Eusebius was a sellout. When Constantine said, hey, Eusebius, you bring that library over there in Syria over here now. Otherwise, we're going to nail you to a cross. He said, yeah, boss. Yeah, okay, I'll bring it right over. And so he figured, and I'm not sure if I had heard it touted that Jerome, who gave us the Vulgate, originally had the name Eusebius, and I was trying to figure out, and I did my own search. I did a word search and all that, but I couldn't prove it out. But the implication to me was that it was Eusebius, the church historian from Caesarea, Syria, who took the library over to Constantinople. May have been Jerome, and he would certainly be qualified. He would be the most qualified. And so we may actually be reading the work of Jerome here in the history of the church by Eusebius, and that's his original name. So if any of you want to pursue that, and get back with me, I'd love, somebody to figure this stuff out for me. I already tried, and I've got a broadcast I got to do, so I'm not going to pursue that one anymore. But maybe some of you might want to, and you'll may have a stumble on the truth, and then get back with me, okay? All right. So here we are. We save the best for last sometimes. And that's the way it happens in nature too, right? Okay. Oh, there's those lemons. It looks like Yah Love is making some lemonade right now. Okay. And that's right. We're exposing the lie. That's right. Okay. And Ninja felt the lie. Yeah. You people get me going. I'm telling you, I'm so excited. I would never, if you weren't there, I wouldn't be here. But of course, if I weren't here, would you be there? That's the question, right? All right, think about that. So, the martyrdom of James and our Lord's brother. So, when Paul appeared to Caesar, he was sent. And by the way, I do read an original thought. So, for Rainbow, anybody new listening, I do transliterate while I read to get back to original thought. And that's why you need to listen to the first 2 weeks of the premiere programming I did starting June 21st, just a month and a half ago, because I don't embrace the paganism. I don't embrace pagan terms or code words, and we have to begin to breathe the original thought and the original diction. And those shavors. There's the word shavor. In the beginning is the shavor, and the shavor is Yahweh, and the shavor is with Yahweh. Okay, and because there's more power in it, and so it's a work. It is a work. Okay, it's yeah. So here we go. So when Shaul Paul appealed to Caesar, and was sent to Rome by. Oh, and by the way, when you Rome is an anagram, and when you rearrange the letters, what do you get? Rome. What is? Come on, can anybody give it to me? This will be a quiz. While I'm reading, I want someone to figure out the anagram. What do you get when you rearrange the letters in Rome? What does Rome want? Tell me. What does Rome want? And it's in their name. Rearrange the letters. It's an anagram. Okay. And let's see if anybody can figure it out. Okay. So when Shaul appealed to Caesar and was sent to Rome by Festus, the Judeans were disappointed of the hope in which they had devised their plot against him, and turned their attention to James, that's Yaakov, the healer's brother, and who had been elected by the Malachim, the royal messengers, to the episcopal throne at Jerusalem. Thank you very much, Rainbow. You got it. You get yourself a free copy of the Real Da Vinci Code Etymological Dictionary. Yeah, you've already got a copy. You came in second. Mew Mew came in third. Mew Mew, because you're so nice, if you don't have a copy of the Real Da Vinci Code, I'll get it to you, okay? So get with me after the program, all of you, okay? So, yeah, that's what Rome wants, right? They want more. And that's where you get your morals and dogma, right? Moral. They want more. They want it all. Give me more. Give me all. That's your morals. See, we don't want morals. We want ethics. We want ethics. Yeah. Okay. So this is the crime that they committed against him. They brought him to their center and in the presence of the whole populace, and demanded a denial in the belief of Christ, or in following the Mashiach. So they're trying to get Yaakov, James, to deny his very own brother here, right? His flesh and blood brother. But when the contrary to all expectation, he spoke as he liked and showed undreamt of fearlessness in the face of the enormous throng, declaring that our Savior, the healer and pure breather of light, Yeshua, is the seed of the Son. They could not endure his declaration any longer, since he was universally regarded as the most pure and upright of blood of the earth, because of the heights of his philosophy and religious purity, which he scaled in his life. And so they killed him, seizing the opportunity for getting their own way provided by the absence of a government. For at that time, Festus had died in Judah, leaving the province without a governor or procurator. That's an interesting word, procurator, isn't it? Procurator. Huh. Now, how Yaakov died, how James died, has already been shown by the words quoted from Clement. And where's his writings, ladies and gentlemen? We'll go over them. Who tells us that he was thrown from the parapet and clubbed to death after he landed on the bottom. But the most detailed account of him is given by Hegesippus, I can't. Hegesippus. Okay, Hegesippus. Okay, there you go. That's a tongue twister. Hegesippus. Okay, who belonged to the first generation after the royal messengers, the apostles. In his fifth book, he writes, control of the church passed to the royal messengers, together with the healer's brother Yaakov, whom everyone from the healer's time till our own was called the perfect in the light. For there were many Yaakovs, but this one, and of course Yaakov means seed of light. You see, you've got to know the meaning of the words or of the names, because it's telling a story in two different ways always. But this one was pure from his birth. He drank no wine or intoxicating liquor. He ate no animal food. No razor came near his head. He did not smear himself with oil. He took no baths, I'm not too sure what this is, if that's a correct rendering here. He's reading, okay, he's reading from, but, something's lost in the translation. There's no doubt, okay, because bath ritual was a big thing for these people. Okay, so something's lost here. He alone was permitted, and there are footnotes, but I don't read the footnotes here. I'm just reading Eusebius, okay? Let me see there. Okay, so the footnote is these two forms of self-denial are nowhere enjoined in the Holy Writ. Yeah, so it's again, Eusebius sometimes, I don't know where he got what he's conveying, and he did take the library to Constantinople, the Roman Empire, and therefore he basically sold out. He should have been nailed to a tree, and either way. So continuing here, he alone was permitted to enter the holy place, for his garments were not of wool but of linen. He used to enter the sanctuary alone, and was often found on his knees beseeching forgiveness for the people, so that his knees grew hard like camels from his continually bending them in worship of Elohe and beseeching forgiveness for the people. Because of his unsurpassable perfection of light, he was called the perfect in the light, and Oblias, and I think Oblias means healer. In our own tongue, bulwark of the people, and righteous and perfection in the light, fulfilling the declaration of the prophets regarding him. Representatives of the 7 popular sects already described by me asked him what was meant by the door of Yeshua. The door of Yeshua. And he replied that Yeshua was the Savior, is the Savior, not past tense, is. Some of them came to follow that Yeshua is the Mashiach. The sects mentioned above did not follow either in a resurrection or in one who is coming to give every blood of the earth what his deeds deserve. But those who did come to follow did so because of Yaakov. Since therefore many even of the ruling class followed, there was an uproar among the Judeans and the Shulfars, scribes, and Pharaohs. They were shameless, who said there was a danger in the entire people, that the entire people would expect Yeshua as the Mashiach. So they collected and said to Yaakov, or they went and grabbed and said to Yaakov, be good enough to restrain the people, for they have gone astray after Yeshua in the conviction that he is the Mashiach. Be good enough to make the facts about Yeshua clear to all who come for the Pesach festival. We all accept that you breathe. We can vouch for it. We will all accept whatever you breathe. We can vouch for it. And so can all the people, that you are a pure soul of light, a blood of the earth, and take no one at his face value. So make it clear to the crowd that they must not go astray as regards Yeshua, and the entire people and all of us accept what you what you say. So take your stand on the temple parapet, so that from that height you may be easily seen, and your words audible to the entire populace. For because of the face shock, all the tribes had foregathered, as well as the commoners. In other words, at this time, the city doubles in number, because it's got about 1 million population, and then another 1 million come in from around the Mediterranean world in the east. You've got my number, or you can either call me. You've got my number, or email me. Contact at FreeAmericaRadio.com. I need your email in order to send it to you. It's on PDF, Rainbow. So send me an email, and I'll attach the attachment to it. Okay. Contact at FreeAmericaRadio.com. Contact at FreeAmericaRadio.com. Free as in freedom. America Radio. FreeAmericaRadio.com. Okay. And I'll be glad to get that to you. So, okay, where was I at here? So take a stand on the temple parapet, and it was filled with commoners as well. And so the shofar scribes and Pharoshim made Yaakov stand on the sanctuary parapet and shouted to him, "One who is perfect in the light, whose word we are all obliged to accept. The people are going astray after Yeshua, who was crucified. So tell us what is meant by the door of Yeshua." And he replied as loudly as he could, "Why do you question me about the seat of the sun? I tell you, he is in the throne of the sun, by the power of the great power, Yahweh, and he will come, and he does come in the clouds of the sky." And what the coming in the clouds of the sky means, ladies and gentlemen, we must get the picture of the symbolic meaning of that, okay? Because obviously it's clear to me people don't. But he comes in the clouds of the sky. Coming in the clouds is coming in the great mystery, okay? Coming in the great mystery. And Mew, you can call in if you want to give your idea of the baths, okay? You're welcome to call in if you think you got it. I'd love to hear it. So the clouds are the mysteries, right? When you're in a cloud, it's hard to see things, right? But it's also keeping the secret. It's hiding something. The cloud is hiding the great mystery. And then when the clouds go away, we see things clearly, right? And so so many were convicted and lifted up in the light with Yaakov's declaration by crying, "Hoshana," to the seed of David. And then again, the scribes, the shofars, and Pharoshim breathed to each other, "We made a bad mistake in affording such testimony to Yeshua. We had better go up and throw him down, so that they will be frightened and not listen to him." "Ho, ho," they cried out, "even the perfect in the light, this one has gone astray, fulfilling the predictions of Isaiah. Let us remove the perfect in the light, for he is unprofitable to us. Therefore they will eat the fruit of their own works." So they went up and threw down the one who is perfect in the light. And then they breathed to each other, "Let us stone Yaakov, the seed of light, of the perfection of light," and began to stone him, as in spite of his fall he was still alive. But he turned and knelt, uttering the shavors, the words, "I beseech you, my healer and pure breather of light, the great Elohim and the Father Yahweh, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing," while they pelted him with stones. One of the descendants of Rechab, the seed of Rakabim, the priestly family to which Jeremiah the prophet, the navigator, bore witness, called out, "Stop! What are you doing? The perfect in the light, this one is creating light for you." Then one of them, a fuller, took a club which he used to beat the clothes, and brought it down on the head of the perfect in the light. And such was the martyrdom, which was buried on the spot. He was buried on the spot by the sanctuary, and his headstone is still there by the sanctuary. He has proved a true witness to the Judeans and the commoners, like that of Yeshua the Mashiach. Immediately after this, Vespasian began to besiege them. So this is right at 68 AD, when Yeshua said, once you see Jerusalem being surrounded by armies, then flee to the mountains. Okay, so this is at the moment when this happens, right when they kill his brother according to the flesh. And okay, very good. Thank you, Rainbow. And so, Mimu, you have an idea? Do you want to type it and I'll read it, or do you want to call in? You're welcome to call in. Okay, so this is the full account, which, in agreement with Clement, is given by Hegesippus. So remarkable a character must Yaakov, James, have been, so universally esteemed for perfection and light, that even the more intelligent Judeans felt that this was why his martyrdom was immediately followed by the siege of Jerusalem, which happened to them for no other reason than the wicked crime of which he had been the victim. Well, it was the judgment was on Jerusalem for their crucifixion of the Mashiach and for everything else they did, setting up the columns. There was also already a pseudo-Israel anyway. Israel was gone in 730 BC. Okay, and this was just a pretend Israel. That's all it was, in Judah. And indeed, Josephus did not hesitate to write this down in so many words. Josephus, quote, "These things happened to the Judeans in requital for Yaakov, the perfect in the light, who is a brother of Yeshua, known as the Mashiach. For though he was the most perfect in the light of all blood of the earth, the Judeans put him to death." Josephus also accounted his death in Antiquities, book 20. Caesar and Albinus to Judah as procurator. Oh, he sent Albinus to Judah as procurator when he was informed of the death of Festus. But the younger Annas, who, as I said, had received the high priesthood, was headstrong in character and audacious in the extreme. He belonged to the sect of the Sadducees. I like that word. It sounds like seducers, doesn't it? And they worked with Herod to kill the Mashiach with the Pharisees, who in judging offenders are cruel beyond any of the Judeans, as I have already made clear. Being a blood of the earth of this kind, Annas thought that he had a convenient opportunity, as Festus was dead and Albinus still on the way. So he assembled the council of Yudke, judges, and brought before it Yaakov, the brother of Yeshua, known as the Moshiach, and several others, on a charge of breaking the law, or the pure shelter, original word, and handed them over to be stoned. But those who were considered the most fair-minded people in the city and strict in their observance of the pure shelter, so supposedly pure, but we know it was more like the law, which is a wall backwards law, were most indignant at this, and sent secretly to the king, imploring him to write to Annas to stop behaving in this way. His conduct had been wrong from the first. Some of them, too, waylaid Albinus on the road from Alexandria, and explained that it was illegal for Annas to assemble a council without his authority. Convened by their arguments, Albinus wrote an angry letter to Annas, threatening to punish him. In consequence, King Agrippa deprived him of the high priesthood, which he had held for 3 months only, and appointed Yeshua, the son of Demeus. And it looks like we've got Venezuela calling in here. And Mew, good to have you. You're on the air.
Hello. Oh, hang on a minute.
You're going to have to turn that background sound down. Turn that sound down. Turn off.
I'm turning the stream off.
All right. Yeah, that feedback doesn't work. Yeah. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. And I just hear what you're saying. Rainbow says yes. Sadducee means the seducers. Very good, Rainbow. And one more. She says also, I went to your webpage and sent an email to you. Okay, very good on that, Rainbow. Thank you. So Mew Mew, you think you've got an insight into the thing about the baths?
Yes, and I don't know. It just sort of hit me so clearly when you read it. The words in the translation said, "And he took no bath." And then you stopped and said, well, this is a bit strange. Maybe it's a bad translation because obviously cleanliness would have been part of the faith, and that this seems very strange that he wouldn't have washed.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was continuing to wash, but in private, because baths in the old days, and my father would remember, my mother too, the baths were always public. And so you had to sort of literally undress in front of other people, and the baths were public, a bit like the Romans had the baths. So I think that because of him trying to get closer to God and praying for the forgiveness of others, he was in a great state of humility and therefore couldn't disrobe and bath in front of others.
Yeah, and so it should have read.
So maybe the translation was too literal. I think it means he didn't go to the public.
No, this is excellent.
He took no bath.
Yeah, no, this is excellent.
So just an idea.
So it should have read, and so he did not publicly smear himself with oil and took no public bath.
He didn't attend the bath, or yes. Yeah. In other words, he didn't go to the pub. No one saw him bathing. He didn't go to the bath because it was something that was very personal between him and.
In other words, because the public baths, in fact, may have been the only place where you could really do it correctly because the water was limited, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he would have had to take a sponge bath then privately.
A sponge bath, or yes, like I have when we've got no power, a bucket of water, you know. But I'm sure that would, for me, make more sense than this literal translation. Oh, he took no bath, because I'm with you on that one, Desert. I don't believe that. I don't believe that he would have stopped bathing.
No. Purity was a part of their tradition, and that also included the external, but not like the Pharisees. Not like the Pharisees.
Exactly. So I just wanted to throw that in, really. Just to sort of say, well, I'm with you when you stopped and said, well, this translation doesn't really make much sense because how on earth, why on earth would he stop? So that was my 2 pennies worth on that.
No, that's fantastic. You filled in the gap, and I didn't. It didn't dawn on me. And that's why this collective we have here. We get some real synergy, and people are always coming up with the right answer, and it's a big help. And I sure thank you. Is there anything else before we end the program here? I'm on the last line in the book, and we're going to close out.
No. I'm enjoying it. Carry on. And hello, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Hello.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll talk again, Mew Mew, no doubt. We'll see you in the chat. Okay. Peace and love.
Okay. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. And so the very last paragraph, which is short, ladies and gentlemen, is finishing out here. Such is the story of Yaakov, to whom is attributed the first of the general letters, admitted to. The what we call the Epistle of James, right? Admittedly, its authenticity is doubted, since few early writers refer to it, which means nothing really. But continuing, any more than to. Let me try this again. So, admittedly, its authenticity is doubted, since few early writers referred to it any more than to Jude's, which is also one of the 7 called general. But the fact remains that these 2, like others, have been regularly used in very many circles of the called out ones, or what we call churches. Okay, and so that type of speculation is irrelevant. You can read. We have to see and read it for ourselves. We just read, the letter of James, and we know it's a righteous document, to use their terminology, right? So all those things sometimes just don't make sense, the way people come up with that. But when we get into the next part here, we're in Ananias, Bishop of Alexandria. That's Anianus. Okay, Anianus is the Bishop of Alexandria, and that's in Mitzrayim, falsely called Egypt. And I do the presentation on Egypt, by the way, at the beginning of my this series, ladies and gentlemen, on the first 2 weeks of the premiere of the Forbidden History series, starting June 21st. You will learn that the word Egypt never existed. The place where the pyramids are was never called Egypt up until modern time, and that the word Egypt came into existence in about when they gave us the King James Bible, because they didn't want us to know about the word Mitzrayim, especially when the Masoretes out of Switzerland were giving us the Old Covenant translation called the Masorete text. You see what I'm saying? It would be too obvious. So they had to create the code word Egypt at that time. It's only about 350 years old, or just over, and it means return. Return. It's that mantra of return. They keep everything in their possession. They give everything to us on a string, and then they pull it back when they're ready to close shop. It's the greatest show on earth. There's nothing new under the sun. It's a psychopathic world, and it's the great lies of history, ladies and gentlemen. It's what they didn't want you to know. Aren't we having fun yet? Okay. And well, when you take nothing from nothing, you got nothing. And the truth is, we got nothing to lose by embracing the truth, ladies and gentlemen, because we have everything to gain. It's about life, and a life in a day without end. In the great mystery, the eternal, as I started with the turn all. Eternal, okay? We want eternal life, not eternal life, eternal life, the truth in the symbol. As Confucius said, signs and symbols rule the world, not words nor law. So the signs and the symbol, the words are made of symbols, and if we can't, where there is no vision, the people perish, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to get the symbol, and also, where there is no knowledge, the people perish. So go figure. The truth is stranger than fiction. Okay, thank you for all your comments, all right? And so it looks like it's a wrap. We went over a little bit today, but it's been fun for me. I hope it's been fun for you. And just don't forget, if you want to know the truth about our origin, who you are, where you are, when you are, why you are, then you need to look for the Forbidden History twice a day, 9 a.m., 9 p.m. Eastern Time, on the realpublicradio.net. It's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here. I'm Desert Owl, thanking you for tuning in, and I'll look for you this evening. And have a safe day out there, okay? Watch the sun, watch that solar UV. Don't forget, listen to Dane Wigington. Go to his channel. Coming up later in about 2 hours. Thank all of you. I'm so honored. Thank you, Yah. Yah love. Thank you, Ninja. Love you too. Good to have you, Trish. And thank you, Lou. Boy, go to Lou's channel, because she got some video there. I was blown away. I subscribed to her, and yet I wasn't getting the announcements, and she has got some beautiful, beautiful videos there. Go to Lou the Cat's TV, okay? Way to go.